Hi, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Spent the last 9 days or 10 days working on potential high frequency trading infrastructure, which includes both Linux and Windows. So let me start from the bottom of this diagram, my fancy diagram. This environment right here is I'm using a product called it's a NoSQL database called Redis. It's true open source. It's very easy to set up. And basically what it does, I've shown videos on how it works. For any of these topics, just go to my Quant Labs YouTube channel and do a search on any of these topics. You find a variety of sources of info. But regardless, I have this NoSQL database called Redis. My preference was to use Cassandra, but I would prefer Cassandra, but Redis is good enough, I think. It enables you to have sharding as well, which I believe Cassandra doesn't do. Now, from my research, because you have sharding capabilities in a NoSQL database, you can significantly improve your performance. So essentially, what I would have as an option, let's say, is to have Java listeners to my market data. Okay, so I'd have applications that I'd have that would populate the Redis table or the Redis database with tick data. Pretty simple. That was the original plan. All this done within Linux. So that was the original plan. I can still do this, but using the Redis essentially as a central repository, which is still, from my perspective, the right way to go. And then we have R with RStudio. Now, I've been going on and on and on about MATLAB. I love MATLAB. MATLAB is probably the best piece of software I've ever used. Once you start getting into clustering, you start getting into expensive options with the parallelization toolbox. Because let's say if you want to have 16 or 64 workers, you're running in excess of $30 to well over $100,000 for the licensing for those workers from MATLAB. This is what's led me to using something like R, because the performance, from my understanding, is pretty well on par with MATLAB, and there's so much package development that could probably make R faster than MATLAB, but we'll see as R develops and matures as a product or as a tool. But the good thing is, when I first started using R, I struggled with the R commander, but I came across this IDE, interactive or integrated development environment called RStudio, which is really powerful. This is the Windows version of it. It's very similar to MATLAB. So if you're used to the MATLAB workbench, it's very similar to it. The other cool thing, it's open source, and you can easily install R packages through RStudio through any CRAN repository. So I'm quite happy with this product. The other cool thing about RStudio, there's a Windows and OS X version for Mac as well as a Linux. I have both for my Linux and my Windows. The other thing is, with RStudio, you can get RStudio server, which enables you to deploy it onto a remote server, like a web server. So you can do all your R development, R modeling, and all that stuff within a browser to your remote web server. So essentially you can do it through a web browser. Very powerful. It's probably very similar to what MATLAB's done with their MATLAB Mobile, but obviously MATLAB Mobile is only good for iPad. But that's one of the reasons why I have started investigating R, because of this RStudio, but I have not had any problems with RStudio. It's really, really good. So essentially that enables me to do all my model development within R. from there, I started trying to look for some decent R packages. The only one I've really worked with thus far is doRedis, which connects me into Redis. That's the reason why I went with Redis, is because of this one dilemma that I had. There was R Cassandra as a package, as well as a bunch of others from Revolutionary Analytics, which didn't really work out for me. They were for Hadoop, using Hadoop and HBase. First with Cassandra, it just didn't work for whatever reason. I couldn't connect into my Cassandra repository remotely or locally. I was able to get Cassandra set up nice and easy. It was a lot of advantages with Cassandra. With the Revolution Analytics, what I found was the RBase, RMR, what was the other one? RHBase were just literally a joke when it came to installing it for a newbie like me into the world of R. The installation documents were just, I didn't get anywhere with it, so I gave up on those 3 R packages and just went exclusively with doRedis. It was nice and easy to set up, got it running, all done within the R Studio. But as far as I know with Hadoop and HBase, HBase is slower than either Cassandra or Redis, I'm glad I didn't go with Hadoop or HBase, but I think doRedis and Redis are a good starting point to get my backend working for my tick data or market data. And as I said, all this I was hoping to get done in Linux. Now, the problem was the trading platform that I wanted to use. Obviously I wanted it to be high frequency based, had that capability. For Linux, the only really ones that I know of that really work without having to roll my own, which would take literally years to do, I just don't want to go down that path, so I like using some kind of open source trading platform solution. The only ones I had was either ActiveQuant or MarketCetra. MarketCetra has been abandoned for whatever reason. It looks good. It's done in Java. Strategy development is done in Ruby or Java. It's kind of limited, but the one part I do like about MarketCetra is the strategy agent, as well as the orb server to execute trades from your strategy. But it's very limited on the type of brokers you can use. So that wasn't really an option. The other one I looked at was ActiveQuant, which looks really good. It's come a long ways, but again, it's using as part of the next version with the AQ20 server or something like that, using HBase. And I just wanted to use R for my analytics, but I could not find any way to have R talk to HBase. So I gave up, and as a result, the ActiveQuant wasn't really a suitable candidate for what I wanted with a backend. So I went and looked at my Windows and started using an old, well, it's obviously a current HFT trading platform in .NET, written in C#. Now with that, originally I was going to use my analytics, was going to be all done in MATLAB. I've shown various videos on how to plug in MATLAB, using MATLAB to plug into C++ DLLs, or using, that would be through the MATLAB Coder Toolbox, or using the MATLAB Builder NE product or toolbox. They look really good, but I've talked to a lot of people from, one was an ex-MathWorks employee. Also, I've talked to various MATLAB developers of up to 10 years experience with the coder. They just said don't go down that path. The code that the MATLAB toolbox or Coder Toolbox generates is questionable. There's a lot of tweaking on the generated code, and so on and so forth. I still would want to have gone ahead with that, but when I started working with the MATLAB Builder NE, I started noticing some latency in connecting through the DLL and da-da-da. So essentially, you know, I was still willing to live with that, but when it came to the parallelization from MATLAB, just as I said, the cost was too exorbitant. So that's where R came in. Now that led me to using that same trading platform, the HFT one, but then I also came across this, I don't call it R package, called RNet. I've done a video on this where you can embed this into your C# application, and you can directly call R on your local system as well as remotely as well. So that was very appealing to me, just for the capabilities of being able to do that. And then obviously I have my HFT trading platform, which is huge. And I go on and on about that within my membership for premium members, so we'll leave that there. But all in all, this stack looks really good because I have the scalability through this repository in the Redis. I also have the sharding capabilities. I'm not there yet, but if I want to go full throttle, I can do that. One of the nice things with Redis, I can easily add a Windows-based slave or a Linux-based slave. Even for my analytics, because it's a lot more lightweight than MATLAB, I can easily run R processes very quickly from within Linux, being able to run it against Redis and being able to access the Redis repository very quickly and get in, get out, and do what it needs to do. Now, where it really got interesting, obviously, was this RStudio. Gone on about that, but this was the real keeper, the R.NET in C#. I couldn't even do this with MATLAB, where I was able to directly call R or MATLAB M scripts or MATLAB M anything. But through this R.NET, it seems it's still early days, but I can call pretty well any R function or R file from directly within a C# application. So I was not able to do that with MATLAB. So I'm kind of happy that I've discovered this. I'm sure I'm going to come across issues down the line, but so far so good. And again, I'm coming back to my fave HFT platform that I always have liked. So I think me being the person that likes to worry and be the worst case scenario planner, I think this solution is good enough for me in terms of scalability. It does not cost anything. I don't have to worry about licensing. The rapid development I get with the RStudio and the R, as well as the full scalability with this HFT platform. All in all, I'm very happy, and the best part about it, all this costs Zippo dollars, 000, and it's true open source because I have the source code to pretty well every component here, and that's a good feeling too. Other than that, hopefully I'll give you a big learning curve or takeaway that I'm learning from all this, and hopefully you might want to use this as your stack for HFT as well. But I'll be reporting back as I proceed with things on anything good or bad with this, and now I can start working on my models and strategies and all that good stuff from both within the HFT platform and R itself. Later.